Presented by Listen Headlines. Latest financial news from trusted sources. Updating daily noontime New York City.
The Library of Economics and Liberty. April 2nd. 1032 America, New York. The Fed is a failed central planner. Almost all the mainstream discussion of monetary policy in the United States today and for a number of decades has been about what kind of monetary policy the Federal Reserve should carry out.
New York Times Business.
April 2nd. 1032 America, New York. In Shanghai, parents with COVID are separated from children. As China's largest city struggles to contain a coronavirus outbreak, outrage erupted online after images of small children isolated from parents spread. Residents lining up last weekend for coronavirus tests outside a Shanghai hospital.
The Library of Economics and Liberty.
April 2nd. 10 o'clock America, New York. The economics of early decision. As college application season draws to a close, one topic on many graduating high school seniors' minds is whether to apply early. Many wonder whether there are advantages to moving quickly, and what early college admissions does.
Daily FX Market News.
April 2nd, 10 o'clock America, New York. Long VanEck Semiconductor ETF, SMH, top trade opportunities. Supply chain issues plagued the semiconductor space starting in 2020 and continuing into this year. The semiconductor stocks, however, seemed unfazed as the VanEck Semiconductor ETF, SMH, rallied too.
Daily FX Market News. April 2nd, 9:30 America, New York. Oil price forecast Q2 2022. Robust demand still met with limited supply. The price of oil spiked to a fresh yearly high, $130.50, in March amid the disruptions caused by the Russia-Ukraine war. Current market conditions may lead to higher crude prices as expectations fall.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business.
April 2nd. 9 o'clock America, New York. Amazon Workers Union victory bolsters revitalized labor movement. The COVID-19 pandemic is helping drive a rush to organize as staff shortages improve employee bargaining positions on wages and benefits.
Wall Street Journal Markets.
April 2nd. 8:07 America, New York. Stock market rebound sits on a shaky foundation. The big question for Wall Street: did March 14 mark the start of a durable rally, or is this merely a dead cat bounce of the type that often occurs in bear markets? New York Times Business.
April 2nd, 8 o'clock America, New York. How Ned Johnson of Fidelity created a nation of investors. Ned Johnson, the longtime leader of Fidelity, changed the way the middle class thought about its money.
Daily FX Market News.
April 2nd, 7 o'clock America, New York. Australian dollar may rise as Europe seeks alternatives. Top trade opportunities. The Australian dollar could be poised to benefit in the second quarter, appreciating from the spillover effects caused by Russia's attack on Ukraine.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business.
April 2nd, 5:30 America, New York. Economists seek recession clues in the yield curve. Wall Street's favored recession indicator is warning of a downturn ahead, but a Federal Reserve gauge isn't.
New York Times Business.
April 2nd, 5 o'clock America, New York. One weekend in Vegas with the nation's auto dealers. After bottoming out early in the pandemic, profits and spirits are soaring, and people were ready to party. Shooting money out of a leaf blower last month at the National Automobile Dealers Association's annual gathering in Las Vegas.
Marginal Revolution. April 2nd, 1:05 America, New York. A short disquisition on Cowen's third law. All propositions about real interest rates are wrong, and this one is in the form of a Bloomberg column. Here is one part. Armstrong Economics.
April 2nd. 0:03 America, New York. Planet Lockdown. Full interviews available. Planet Lockdown has released the full interviews from their documentary, including the ones that did not make the final documentary. Click here to view the full interviews, translations available in numerous languages.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business.
April 2nd. 0:00 America, New York. Drone deliveries have already started in parts of the U.S. Drone companies have been cleared to expand their operations across the U.S., in cities as well as rural areas. At the same time, their tech has become faster and more reliable.
Global Economy.
April 1st. 2300 America, New York. European bicycle groups put brakes on reshoring as energy prices bite. Continent's companies ditch plans to switch production from Asia to nearer home as power costs soar.
Finance and Economics.
April 1st. 2000 America, New York. America's gas frackers limber up to save Europe. There might be little they can do in the short term.
Finance and Economics, April 1st, 2000 America, New York. India grapples with the new realities of the global oil market. The question is how to pay for Russian oil. Finance and Economics,
April 1st, 2000 America, New York. Surging food prices take a toll on poor economies. In places like Sri Lanka and Egypt, they add to existing strains.
BBC News, Business.
April 1st, 1908 America, New York. Fracking, worth exploring, says British gas owner Centrica. Centrica's boss tells the BBC that the UK should be open to the idea of bringing back fracking.
BBC News Business.
April 1st, 1908 America, New York. Fracking, worth exploring, says British gas owner Centrica. Centrica's boss tells the BBC that the UK should be open to the idea of bringing back fracking.
Global economy.
April 1st, 1800 America, New York. German industry sounds alarm over energy rationing plan. Supply crunch could devastate companies and cost economy tens of billions of euros.
Wall Street Journal Markets.
April 1st, 1752 America, New York. Moderna, Lululemon, Amazon. Stocks that defined the week. Here are 7 major companies whose stocks moved on the week's news.
BBC News Business.
April 1st, 1706 America, New York. Ukraine war to have global trade growth, warns WTO. The World Trade Organization says ongoing pandemic-related supply chain problems are also hurting growth.
BBC News, Business.
April 1st, 1706 America, New York. Ukraine war to have global trade growth, warns WTO. The World Trade Organization says ongoing pandemic-related supply chain problems are also hurting growth.
Global economy.
April 1st, 1700 America, New York. Voluntary sector finds innovative ways to tackle UK cost of living crisis. Community groups step up to provide support as number of households suffering fuel stress triples overnight.
Daily FX Market News.
April 1st, 1700 America, New York. Equities forecast Q2 2022. Fed policy remains the biggest risk for equity markets. A volatile first quarter for U.S. equities, which grappled with not only an inflation-fighting Federal Reserve but also increased geopolitical tensions.